Would you support banning women from higher education and repealing the 19th Amendment?
Repealing the 19th Amendment, for sure. I don't think women should vote.
That's all. That's fine.
And I know some people, that's probably a shocker for some people. Well, instead of laughing, let me explain why. There's actually a very logically sound reason why women shouldn't vote, and I'll go into it right now. So here's the thing. If you're going to vote, you need to have skin in the game, right? Because, if you're going to vote, you can effectively put in the commander-in-chief of the United States who can, obviously send armed forces over to other countries and get involved in wars, right? Now, here's the problem. Women don't have to join the Selective Service. I'm sure a lot of women here probably don't even know what the Selective Service is. The Selective Service is basically once you turn 18 as a man in the United States, you have to enroll in it, and if you don't, you could get penalty of fine, you can get put in jail. It's a very serious offense. And then on top of that, you don't get certain opportunities. You don't get loans, you can't get a government job, a state job. It basically makes you almost damn near a convicted felon. So if you're not in the Selective Service, it messes you up as a man. But as a woman, it's you don't have to go into it. So I look at it like this. If women are going to go ahead and be able to vote, I think they need to have skin in the game. And I find it ridiculous that a woman could put someone into office that will send a man to war when she doesn't have skin in the game. So that's my thing when it comes to voting. And let's be honest here. Most women don't really care about politics. They don't really care that much. If they do vote, they typically tend to vote left. They tend to vote single-issue voters on whoever gives abortion. Whichever candidate lets them kill babies, they're more interested in that candidate. They don't necessarily care about foreign policy or the more higher IQ stuff. So that's the reality. If you guys watch the Democratic National Convention, they just made it 100% femme-centric. They focused on social issues. They focused on abortion, a lot of smoke and mirrors, bring celebrities in, because they know that that's what their voting base is going to want, which, they're going to want the black vote and the women's vote. That's what Democrats typically campaign towards. So, yeah, I don't think women should have the right to vote, and that's why.
Wait, what about women in college? What about the second part?
Women in college? So here's the thing. Though I am against women working, and I think that they should work electively and not mandatorily. I think the man should be the provider. I also understand that we're kind of here now, right? So what I think is we need to just be honest with women and tell them, look, you could pursue an education and a career, but you need to understand that it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, for you to get both a family that you're satisfied with and a career. It's going to be very difficult to do both. We don't tell women that. That's the problem. And a lot of the times they don't wake up until they're in their 30s when all their opportunities have passed by them. Maybe they came across a good guy and they said, I'm just going to wait. That guy fades off. They can't find him. They can't reconnect with him. Because we tell women, hey, you have all the time in the world. So I think we need to be more honest with women and let them know that you have a finite amount of time to be able to cash in your chips and get the best guy that you can get and get in something more serious. So I think if we're a bit more honest, because let's be honest, women aren't going to go back in the kitchen now, right? They're not, right? As much as I'd love to send them back to the kitchen, they're not going back. The feminists have fought way too hard to gain all this ground to just give it back and, get back to touching spatulas and stuff. So the reality is, I think if we're more honest with women and told them, look, you got to pick one of the two, and had that candid conversation, we'd be better off.